No, the truth of the matter is, and I got worse and worse and worse, because there's this disease upon us, there's this curse upon the human race, which is called death. We're born with it. And that's why Paul says here in Romans 5:12, he said sin. He didn't say sins, plural, but sin. See, sin is a disease. The sins are the symptoms of the disease. In other words, we say things we shouldn't say, we do things we shouldn't do, we act in ways we shouldn't act, because that's the symptoms of a disease within us. Now, what if I go to the doctor? Well, say tonight I go home and all of a sudden I start having a pain down here on the right side. And, it gets worse and worse and worse. And I go to the doctor tomorrow, and the doctor examines me and takes my blood count and says my white blood cells are high. You've got appendicitis. Then he writes me a prescription for Tylenol 3. Here, take 4 of them every 4 hours, and you won't hurt anymore. Hey, man, that's cool. So I go to the drugstore, and I get Tylenol number 3, and I pop 4 of them, and I'm a zombie. And I'm thinking, man, that doctor's good. My stomach doesn't hurt anymore. Now, what's wrong with that picture?
You still got the disease.
And I'm going to die.
I went through it with AD.
I'm going to die because all the doctor's doing is he's treating my symptoms and he's not treating the disease. Now, we're doing theology here, whether you realize it or not. We're born into this world with a propensity toward distrusting God, and at some point in our lives, when we reach the age of accountability, we begin to manifest that distrust. I'm going to do things my way. I don't have to go to church. I don't want to go to church. I'm going to do things the way I want to do them. We don't actually do that, but really we're saying, leave me alone. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to show you I can have fun and be happy without you. That's what I did. And so we had this disease, and this disease causes these symptoms of sin. There comes a point in our lives, here's what we think. Gee, okay, God loves me, and I don't want to go to hell, so what should I do? What should I do? See, God's over here, and I'm over here. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut down. I'm going to go from 15 cuss words a day to 2 cuss words a day. Okay, I'm going to stop my drinking. I'm going to cut down on my bad attitudes. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go to church twice a month. Now, come on. At one time, that's what we all thought. Okay, I got a checklist here. Got a checklist. So, but you know what we're doing? We're treating the symptoms. The reason I cuss, or used to cuss, there are still some things that'll make a preacher cuss. The reason I used to do that, the reason I still screw up sometimes, come on, let's be human, it's because there's this disease. These are just symptoms of the disease. So in other words, I can get rid of all my cuss words, I can stop doing all these bad things, I can come to church 4 times a month. And still, that's just treating the symptoms. That doesn't do anything about the disease I have, does it? Who's going to cure me of my disease? Because my disease is not of my actions. My disease is of my heart. Oh God, is there anyone who can heal my heart? Now we're right where the great physician wants us to be. Suddenly we realize taking Tylenol and just doing good things and stop doing bad things and New Year's resolutions and all these, that's not going to get us from here to here. There's nothing we can do that'll get us from here to here. There's only one way we can get from here to here, and that's His way. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that if we will believe, trust Him, there's the word, trust Him, give our life to Him, then what He does is His Spirit comes into us and begins to heal the disease within us. You getting the picture? Now, let me give it to you in one more way, and then we're going to take a break. If we're born into this world spiritually dead, which I believe we are, how much can a dead person help themselves? Can a dead person pull themselves up? Not silly, no. Well, then if we are spiritually dead, there's nothing we can do to help ourselves and pull ourselves up out of this dead state into life. Our only hope is if someone will give us a new birth. That's why in John chapter 3, and we're going to talk all about it, Jesus said these words, you must be born again. You ever heard those words? Spiritual birth. When I realize I'm spiritually dead to God, and I'm over here, and he's over here, and there's not anything I can do about it. When we reach that point, and God lets us reach that point, and I look to God and say, God, there's nothing I can do, then God says, I'm so glad you asked, because there's something I have done for you. When we call out to him, suddenly what he does is, yes, he forgives us for all the sins and the symptoms that we've done, but that's not the worst part.